Hi friends, I have another craft for you today. Today we are going to do a scarecrow made out of wooden shims. Isn't he adorable? He is so cute. I'm going to show you how I made him, and then as always you can change things around and do it how you want to do it. But I'll show you how that works. I'm excited about it, and you're probably wondering, why is she wearing this yellow shirt? I know you're not, but check out the back. Yeah, it goes with my scarecrow. So anyway, I know you can't watch the back while I'm putting this together, but I thought it'd be fun. So first thing you need are shims. I'm using 10. You can tell from the final scarecrow sort of what we need. We're going to need some scrap fabric for his hat. I've got a cute little sunflower here. I have some raffia for his hair, and the scrap fabric I also put a little bit down here at the bottom just because I wanted to. And then I'm using some paint pens for his face. I painted the shims a base color, and then I picked out a nose. So I'll show you all that stuff. Let me grab some of this stuff. All right, so first things first, we're going to put our shims up like this so they fit and make a triangle. So we just need hot glue. Ta-da. We just put hot glue down. You can get wood shims from any of the hardware places where they sell wood. You can get them online if you want, in bulk. So I'm doing 10. You can do as many as you want if you want him fatter. And then what I'm doing is I'm gluing them together and trying to make him roughly flush. We need to have him flat on the bottom so he'll stand up. And then we want him flush on one side so we can put his face on there. I do have some sandpaper to smooth it out a little bit. And not all of your shims are going to look, I mean, it's just scrap wood, right? It's just scrap wood, basically, and it's to level things, I believe. I use wood shims on my bed frame to make it stop squeaking. I switched to a different kind of mattress years ago, and the supports in between my bed frames don't work there anymore because I put a mattress in that can go up and down, you know. And so my regular supports had to get rid of them. And so my frame that helps hold the headboard and the footboard together tends to slide out. So I put a wood shim in there. Holds it tight, makes it stop squeaking. All right, not too hard. I set it on the ground, hold them together. My wood shims are, you know, I think these are 8-inch. I'm pretty sure these are 8 inches tall. I think they make 12. That'd be one tall scarecrow. That'd be cute. You could put all kinds of accessories on that one, but mine, I believe, are 8. And again, I'm using 10. I've seen one of these where they're facing forward. Instead of making a triangle this way, where they're all up against each other, they're facing forward this way. That's interesting. I haven't tried that one myself. So just pushing these in, making them flat and tight. Almost there, got a couple more. I'm going all the way down. I'm making sure I have a good amount of glue on there. But really, it's not like I'm gonna be moving this thing around a lot, right? It's gonna be a shelf sitter. Cute. So one more. Hold him on there. And that's what he's gonna look like. Cute. And see, the back looks completely different. I think this is the front because it's more flush. I'm gonna grab some sandpaper and just smooth it out a little bit. One, I don't want splinters. And it's a rustic, that felt better already. It's a rustic craft because it's made out of wood, or the way we're making it out of wood. And it is a scarecrow. So I like the rough, but we don't want to cut anything, cut ourselves or give ourselves a splinter. So all right, I think we're good. Now, I just mixed up some paint last time. This one happens to be khaki. This is a mixture of a couple of colors, so I'm not sure what this is gonna turn out to be. I'm gonna paint it, and then I think I might sand it a little bit. Get myself a little brush. So you just put enough paint on there to go up as high as you think you need for your hat. I'm going to put your hat on, or what's your face going to be. So I'm just going to squirt some on here and paint. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going up. I'm going up pretty high because I'm not sure where I'm going to put my hat. I don't know if you can tell the difference. I can in person. I need a little more right here. So this is khaki. I think that's more of a mocha. We're going to compare here in just a second. And I'm going to paint all the way around. And this is raw wood, so it's gonna dry up pretty fast. I don't need to do the bottom. It's gonna be sitting. Got too much paint. You might be able to see it better on the flat side. Ooh, I got a lot of paint. Okay. So that's 3 sides. Get my last one. Clean off my brush a smidge. Let's see if that's enough. Yeah. But you could do all kinds of stuff with this. You know I like antique wax. That might look really good because look at the coloring on that piece of wood right there. That dark spot all these different grains with the wood. Antique wax might look really cute. Might pull out some of that. But I didn't bring that today, so we're not gonna do that. Let me just get my brush emptied up here. All right, it's already drying. Get that over there. Empty my brush up on the top. I'm gonna cover it anyway. All right. Let's see. Whoa, big difference. That's a big difference in my color. Wow. Neat. Let's see what this one looks like. So, I'm gonna scrape the front of my picture, just a little, I mean the front of my picture. I'm gonna scrape the front of my Scarecrow just a smidge so I can have some of the raw wood peeking out. Cute. Okay. Let that dry for a second. I got sand in here. All right. So then, cute. Yep, that's gonna look great. All right, so then, I love this fabric. It's so cute. I got a scrap of it from somewhere down the way, and so I think it looks totally like a Scarecrow. And if you've crafted with me before, you have seen this fabric before. So I have just cut strips of it. I cut like a little piece and I ripped it because I liked the roughness. It fits with my theme, my Scarecrow theme. So I just got it started and ripped. But I got some super long strings I'm gonna get rid of real quick. And you don't need much. I might have too much. I'd rather have too much than not enough. See how that's stringed up? Just need to get some of that off so that I just see the phrase. And then I am going to start with my largest piece. Start from the back. Which was my back? This one. Dry. Ooh, real close. Okay. And then I'm going to start wrapping around. So put a little piece of, little tab of glue there. Attach it to the back of my Scarecrow and start wrapping. I'm just wrapping around. Put that in there for a second. And funny, I cut this fabric wrong when I originally had it, was using it. And I was trying to make a gnome hat. Can you believe that? I was trying to make a hat for my gnome. And so it cut and it's cut in a triangle. I cut it wrong. And so that's why these look kind of funky. They're not as uniform, even though I was trying to rip them. It's funny. I'm just wrapping around. So notice I am gluing this in the back so it's not obviously seen. And I need a little space in the front to put my raffia for his hair. So I'm not putting any glue in the front. And some of these little triangles I'm cutting off because of like I said, the big triangle I was trying to make for a gnome hat and cut it backwards, cut it wrong. That could be a cute nose. Now I have used orange felt. Where's my back? I've used orange felt and orange burlap. Had some orange burlap. And so I have used that for his nose just to get a little dimension. If you have like a little piece of wooden if you have a little piece of wooden triangle or something that you might want to use for his nose, that would be cute. You could paint it on there. You wouldn't necessarily have to, where's my front? You wouldn't necessarily have to have it 3D, but I kind of wanted it raised. I forgot which was my front. They both look so good. I think I'm gonna make this my front. Is that gonna work? Oh yeah, this is my front. All right. Put this around. And then I just put a little dab on the top. Whoops, more string. I just put, I just taped some of the same fabric up on the top. So I'm gonna tack this down and wrap this to the top to cover up the tip. And I'm just fussing a little bit with it to get it looking the way I want it to look. Put some on top. And wrap it around. And then I'm just gonna glue down my edges. And try not to burn myself. All right, snip this off. And I'm gonna put a little touch of glue there. So it doesn't flap up. All right. And here he is with his hat. How cute. All right, so now I keep trying to decide. They both look so cute. I'm gonna use this side. I've decided I'm gonna use this side. So what I do is, first I'm gonna put on his hair, and then I will figure out placement for his nose and his eyes. So I have some raffia, and I'm just gonna do a couple of little strands. He didn't need a ton of hair. Let's see, start up here at the top. And he's gonna have some curls like me. So I'm just folding it and folding it, and then I'm gonna stuff it inside because I did not glue the front. So I am gonna put it in half, and we'll trim it. I'm gonna put it in half enough to get it up in his hat. So I have 2 strings. Wow. Let's try this again. I have 2 big strings, and I'm just folding it twice because I don't need so long. And then I'm crimping it in the middle like this, and I'm gonna stuff it in his hat. So I picked up the lip and I stuff it up just like that. And then I will separate it so he has some on each side of his face, just like this. And then I will put just a dab of glue in the front so that it doesn't fall out. I'm gonna just put a little touch of glue in the front of his hat, so as the front now stays down and his hair stays in. Cute. All right. So I'll do a little bit of trim. So where I folded it, there's loops. So I'm gonna trim that, let that go free and in the wild. And then I'm just gonna trim down a little bit where I think, and I'll probably trim this more, but I need it to get out of my way if nothing else right now. And then we'll fuss with it after we put his little scarf or whatever is on there. All right, let me get rid of that. And we move it out of our way and we place his nose. So I've already made his nose. It's a scrap of this little triangle of orange felt. And then I put the orange burlap on top, and I am going to decide where I think it looks cute. And then I'm just gonna draw his eyes. It's just a circle. So I think I like his nose there. Scooch over here. So I got a paint pen, and I'm going to just draw circles. I have not glued my nose down yet, but I'm just gonna draw some circles. So I press my paint pen down to get it working. Hold my nose and draw some eyes. So it's not going to be completely even because your working surface is little pieces of wood pushed together, right? So you got to play with that just a smidge so you can make your circles. Cute. And let me show you. Hold his little nose. Aren't they cute? So I'm gonna let that dry and then put some mouth on there for him, and I'm gonna put little eye drops in there. So I got a little extra spray of black where I don't need it, so I'm gonna grab a little bit of my face paint, color from my paint face, and cover that up. Got a little boo-boo in the middle of his, between his eyes. There's a string on the end of my paint pen, like fuzz. And when I went from one eye to the other, that touched, so you know, things happen. I didn't notice it being there. My eyes aren't that great, so I just need to put a little touch to cover that up. He doesn't want a blemish in between his eyes. There we go. Let me show you. Oh, better. All right. So since I like where that is, I'm just going to glue my nose down. So pick it up, put a little dab of glue on there. I'm going to smear it around so I don't have any of my glue kind of pop up. But you don't have to do that. I just want to. And then place it back down for his nose. Sweet. Just like that. And then I'm gonna make his mouth. Now, I know that I want to put, I don't guess, but I think I want to put a little bit of scrap down there to add some more color. So I am going to make his his mouth up close, same paint pen. And I like it all squiggly like that, so I need to move his hair out of my way. And I'm just going to make him a little squiggly mouth. Because it's cute. And you can add like little dashes if you want him to have like a barbed wire mouth. I like it without. But that you can do. And you can make it straight. You can do whatever you want to do. You can look up faces, if you want an idea of how it looks, you know. give yourself some options. Or if you can think of those things by yourself, you can just play with it. But play with it on scrap paper might be a good idea. All right, so I got one more scrap of fabric that I am gonna use probably for a little scarf or something. Just a little pop of color actually is what I want. So I made it thinner than my other scraps. And I'm just gonna wrap it around and put a little fold in the front. I'm gluing this on, so I'm not gonna worry about trying to make a knot or anything, but you can knot it whatever you wanna do. But I think I'm just gonna flip it around and make a little cross of fabric, like I've just thrown a scrap piece of fabric on there. So I'm just gonna put a touch of glue to hold it down for me. Making sure that's all facing the right way. And this will also hold it just in the front. I don't need to put any in the back, but you can if you want. So I am placing it so it looks the way I want it to look. And add in a touch of glue. I'll show you here in a second. And all this time I'm finishing up this stage. I'm letting those eyes dry so I can put my little white dots in there, which you also don't need to do, but I like it. See, he's coming along, isn't he? Now, I'm using the back of my paintbrush to make his little eyes, his little dots in his eyes. So I gotta get this glue back off of there. So I have two sizes. This is a larger one for my middle lot and then a tiny one for my little lot. I'm doing it like this. So I happen to have another white paint pen. I'm just going to give me a little dab on my scrap paper plate here. And I want to get my large one first and dip it in and put just a little dot at the bottom of his eyes. There's one. Here's two. See? Now then, I'll wipe that off. And I'll get my tiny one and see if I can do this. Put just a little tiny dot up at the top. To make it twinkle. See? There's my twinkle. I like it. Whoops. Don't roll you over on your nose. Good thing everything's dry. Okay, now, we don't have to do this part, but I like to add a little blush. I got a Q-tip and some blush, and I am going to give him some rosy cheeks. It's a subtle option. It doesn't really stand out, but in person you see it better. And it's a very light blush anyway. So it's just a subtle touch that you probably can't see, but I can see it. Can you see it? Just an option you can play with. Gonna have to trim your hair, buddy. All right, then, actually you need some more curl. Let me curl you up. Maybe that'll help me. Get you kind of crazy. Yeah. I'm liking it. Okay, so I have a cute little flower I'm gonna put on his hat. And it is a sunflower, which they kind of use in Scarecrow season. So I am gonna put a little dab of glue on it. I practiced where I wanted it on my hat. I'm gonna put it up top, glue it on there. Let's see, is everything all dry? Yep. And here they are. They don't look exactly the same because they never do, at least when I craft. But aren't they cute? They are really cute. They both have their own little personalities. I love them. That's it. It's fun. Just use some scrap material you have at home. Everything will work. I know it will. And easy and a fun little simple craft to do. I hope you had fun too. I know I did. And I will see you next time. Okay. Bye.